Hey, what's up? This is Jason Drone. Welcome to GSD Daily. Now, I had to do something in the last couple weeks that I haven't had to do in a really long time, and that is writing a business plan. So, years and years and years ago, I won a business plan competition in Erie, Pennsylvania here I actually submitted 2 business plans. The top 8 got picked, and then let me back up a little bit further. So the first year I submitted 2 business plans, I ended up getting picked for the finals. I presented 2 business plans up on stage. First time I was ever on stage in front of an audience, and I fucking bombed. I was choked up. You could hear me breathing weird. I mean, it was maybe you couldn't hear me, but I felt like it. I felt like you could hear me. So it was just an absolute nightmare. So that year, I remember leaving the auditorium and my business plans were in the garbage, which really bothered me. I remember looking down at the garbage and the business plans were in the garbage. And I was like, motherfucker, like I just put hours and hours, days of effort into thinking through this business idea, and then poof, done. You know what I mean? So that really bothered me. And at the end of the day, what happened was I learned what one of my biggest pain points was in doing business, which was talking to people. It's one of the reasons I'm able to do this video is because I bombed that business plan presentation. So the next year I came back, submitted 2 business plans, went to the finals, and I killed it. Both of the business plan, so I ended up winning the business plan competition, won $7,500, $7,500, ended up building my first real computer with that money. And the 2 business plans, one of them was for a mobile blogging application back in 2008. And I mean, that was a long time ago, right? The second one was for I think I called it iFilm, which was basically an independent film website like Netflix back in the day too. So all in all, though, I mean, those 2 business plans, I got to the room and they were like, well, which one do you want to win for? And I was like, the mobile blogging one's pretty cool. And they were like, yeah, we think so too. So I ended up winning for that one. And the rest of my entrepreneurial journey was kind of, it wasn't easy by any means, but that's really where it started, was those business plan competitions. So fast forward to now, and having created dozens of companies, having worked with hundreds of businesses, thousands of entrepreneurs, over the years, and building sales funnels and marketing and all that other shit. And here I am having to write a business plan for a new concept, for a new business concept. Now, when I come up with business plans, when I brainstorm new offers, because really that's kind of what we do, right? It's offers. So that's really what I'm looking for, is I'm looking to create an offer that can start selling and you can build a business around it. That's really the thing. But this wasn't that, so I had to come up with a business plan to talk to this business about other people. Normally this stuff is internal, we go market it. This, I need some other buy-in from some other people. So that all is going to be coming down the way. You're going to learn about what that business is probably in the next 2, 3, 4 months, but I don't want to spoil it, if you will. Not just yet. But what happened was I had to write another business plan. And writing a business plan is fucking hard, when you haven't written one in a while. You haven't exercised those muscles. Because it's just as much talking about what is and what will be. And when I write stuff, it tends to be very sales in nature. So what I want to do, I kind of started the process by I was like, all right, let's find some resources for business plans. Let's figure out what we need to do what we need to create. and then we'll start filling all the blanks. So what I wanted to do is walk through a business plan template, and just talk briefly about each of the sections in it, so that when you go to write a business plan, if you ever need to, you are able to know what each of the sections means. So we're going to flip over to my screen here real quick. So here we go. So this is just a very generic business plan template. It's one of those things like you download and you start filling in the blanks. So all in all, I mean, this is the title page, your business name. When you prepared it, who prepared it, what is your title going to be, like, blah, blah, blah. Email address. This is all easy stuff. But once you get down here, this table of contents, it really starts to kind of take on a life of its own. So it always starts with an executive summary. So generally, the executive summary is an overview of what your business is going to do. How is it going to make money? Who is it going to serve? What your objective is? What your target market is? What the business's marketing plan is? What the competitive analysis and advantages are? All of the stuff. It's kind of like businessy 101 stuff, anymore, especially when it's an online business, you can paint a target and say and dial in your target market like that. But before, it wasn't necessarily that way, in the olden days of internets, or olden days of business, I should say. You want to go through and you want to talk through your products and your services. That's going to be a big one. How are you going to make money? What are you going to charge? How are the things that you're doing going to produce revenue? Marketing plans, sales plans, do you have a sales process? Will you need one? All good stuff. So business plans are just as much about forecasting what you're going to do as much as, as much as anything. And the one thing, especially in going through all the business plan competitions and stuff, you never want to say, well, the market is $1 billion. And if I just claim 1% of $1 billion market, then I'm going to have a really big business. That's never going, well, I'm not saying it's never going to happen, but when when somebody hears that, they're like, yeah, but you have 100,000 competitors or 50,000 or whatever it ends up being. There's a ton of competitors out there. So you want to make sure that the forecasts are believable and rooted in numbers. You want to talk through staffing and people. If your business is location specific, you want to include location information, technology and equipment. What do you need in order to pull it off? Do you need software, tech, servers, hardware, data centers, all of that stuff. And then, of course, the key performance indicators that will let you know you are doing well in your business or not. At the end of the day, the executive summary is the high level. This is what you're going to be doing. This is what you're going to be selling. This is who you're going to be affecting. This is who you're going to be working with in terms of customer or client. And all that stuff needs to be detailed, written, so that anybody can print it out, pick it up, read it, take it with them, mark it up, ask questions, all of that kind of stuff. And the better you think through all of those specifics, the more funding you're going to get, the better somebody's going to understand your idea, and all in all, the better follow through you're going to get from the people you need to present to. But at the end of the day, that still doesn't cloud actually getting money, because your business needs to generate revenue. Business plan doesn't do shit. Money in the bank actually does shit. That's why businesses are around. So it's one of the reasons I never wrote them, because I'd rather test an idea or an offer or a business, start putting money in the bank, and then by the time you know it, you're well past the stage of business plan and you're already producing revenue. And when you're producing revenue, a lot of those objections go away because you already have a product, you already have product market fit. All right, next in the business plan is your company description, company overview, company mission statement. I used to think this stuff was all fluff. You want to make sure I have a personal vision statement that I rewrite every day. There is a company mission statement. There's, and this company mission statement and all of those types of things. The reason they are important for your business is because you need to weigh everything you do in the future against a mission statement, so that you know if you're going down the right path or the wrong path. And if you have a customer mission statement like Google that was do no evil, then you know if you're doing something bad and you're creating a product line or funding research and development or doing something that will inevitably do evil. That's not part of your mission statement. So you want whatever it is you're doing to move you further down the path of growth and success. That's really what the mission statement does. Like I said, I didn't necessarily deal with mission statements or vision statements or any of that shit. But once I started defining my own personal mission statement and then the mission statements of the businesses, then it let me know that we were either doing right or doing wrong. So a great example is Done For You. A couple of years ago, we used to sell a bunch of education, we tried to sell a bunch of education from the Done For You brand. It wouldn't sell. It's not that it wouldn't sell. It was just it was difficult to sell. And when I started thinking about it, it made sense, because when somebody comes to Done For You, they're expecting to have all the work done for them. I mean, that's fucking obvious. But at the same time, when you're just kind of head down working on stuff, you're not really thinking about it. You're just kind of lumping it all in the same basket. And that's why we ended up buying the domain name and building the partner brand Done With You, which is very much more an education and a mentorship brand. It works much better that way, as opposed to putting it all inside the same basket. If it wouldn't have been a mission statement, I wouldn't have realized it so quickly once it was kind of like brought to my attention, Well, the next, products and services. Now, this is a longer, more detailed explanation of what it is you're going to sell, how you're going to sell it, what you're going to be doing, what your pricing is going to be, what your marketing plan is going to be. Are you going to be doing old traditional boots on the ground stuff? Are you going to be doing digital social media stuff? There's a section in a lot of business plans for market research. I don't know. The market research that I tend to cite is keyword specific trends, number of searches a month. Everything we do is digital, so it really kind of all it falls back on what people are searching for online. So that tends to be the market research that I conduct. You can look at competitor research. You can pull all the competitor ad campaigns and all that stuff and put it in here too. But at the end of the day, this business plan is really very much geared for a high-level discussion of what your business is going to be. Target customer is another good one. So whenever we start working with a client, we always put them through what we call a customer avatar canvas. So it is, who's your target customer? Where were they before you? Where are they after you? What have they been able to realize in between? What are some of the features and benefits that they were able to do? So the beginning parts of that are this target customer. What is their age, gender, location, income, occupation, education level? Who are they? And then you want to also include the barriers to entry. So why is it that other people won't follow you into the same audience, into the same business? So the business that we're getting into has high capital requirements. It has not necessarily high marketing costs, but I don't really want to get too much into it, but it would cost a lot of money to replicate or to replicate the business that this is the business for the business plan that I'm working in under the right circumstances, and we have a lot of it already figured out. So it makes the cost significantly lower, which is why we're able to make a run at it ourselves. Now, if we have, there's some trademark consolidation, steep learning curve, like all of those are barriers to entry. Steep learning curve, very much agency funnel stuff. It's hard to do what we do. It's hard to write copy the way that copy needs to be written. So those are some barriers to entry to consider there. Threats and opportunities is another one. So in this new business, what do you need to think about from a threat standpoint, and what are some of your opportunities going to be? And then competitive wise, who are your competitors? Are they local? So when I went through and put this list together, I listed all the local competitors, within a 25-mile area. So it might be local if it's a local business. It might be a national competitor if it's a national, if it's online, So, and then we have, you want to talk about your positioning in your niche, the method of marketing your product and service. This stuff is easy. Website, social media marketing, email marketing, mobile planning. We don't need to get into specifics of this like you would like deliverables in each, but you want to make sure that they're addressed. Marketing budget, distribution channels, operational plan, who's going to be working, what you're going to be doing, location, legal environment, inventory, supplies and vendors. A lot of this stuff, the deeper you go in, you just want to make sure that they're addressed. So it's just a question that you have to answer as opposed to things you really need to think through. But your answer is mostly going to be conjecture. Like you're mostly going to be making up your answers unless you've done this a couple times. Projected balance sheet. This is not quite, again, it's a forecast. Sales plan, appendices. So this is a nice way. I'll include this in the article, in the article that accompanies this video, but this is a nice template to build on when you're writing your business plan. Don't worry if you don't have an answer. Don't worry if you haven't thought through something enough yet. At the end of the day, the business plan is really just a plan. Business plans. So the person, the consulting group, the management group, the advisory group, the person who is expecting to read a business plan also expects that the business plan is updated. Out of the thousands of companies, hundreds of companies that we've worked with, we built 850 sales funnels, a little over, in my tenure, from a sales funnel standpoint. And I would have to expect that next to none of them have had business plans. But business plans are important for communicating your idea to somebody who is not in your business or somebody who's not working with you. So it's important that you're able to articulate that. And just the exercise of writing a business plan helps you focus on something long enough to figure out some of the more complex issues that you're not going to get around just reactionary, by reacting. So it will work to your benefit in writing this document, even if it's just for yourself. So that's about all I got for you today. Business plan, like it or not, there are some situations where you're going to have to write it. This is a good place to start. If you have any questions at all, just hit us up and answer a question below or ask a question below, and we'll get you taken care of. All right, talk to you soon. Thanks.